Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel. My name is Malia. Today I wanted to start a series where I talk about books that have really helped me on my self-growth journey. It's just a great way for me to look back and see where I was at the time, 2021, see where my mind was at. Also, I want to share the things that are helping me to overcome my shadows. This is the first book that I wanted to share today, and hopefully there will be more of these, so subscribe if you want to see more of them. So the first book that I wanted to share is great for anyone who's looking for self-growth. Also people who maybe grew up in Christianity and kind of tend more towards this judgmental mind and judgmental perspective. And this book is also great for people who tend to find themselves in codependent relationships. And it's called The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Ruiz's words and tone are so clear, it like cuts you to your heart, and you really internalize the rules and what he is saying. In this book, Ruiz offers 4 rules that you can live by in order to live a peaceful, truthful, and aligned life. His words are so straightforward. It's like your uncle is telling you these things. It really pierced my heart, and someone who grew up in Christianity, it really had an effect on me. The clear way he tells you what is good for you. It's a super short book, only about 140 pages, and well worth the read. It is full of wisdom and enlightenment for everyday life and for your spiritual and self-growth journey. That being said, let's jump into the content of the book. We cannot see what we truly are. We cannot see that we are not free. This is something we all kind of learn in sociology in college, but it's basically that the constructs of society you were born into, the disposition of your mom and dad's minds, they all have an effect on you. You are not fully you. You are a result from what the society you were born into taught you and what your mom and dad taught you. Before getting into the rules, Ruiz begins this book by explaining the domestication of humans. Basically, that we are all dreaming, and each person's dream is true and the reality of that person, but nobody has the same dream. The domestication of humans is critical to understand in order to adopt Ruiz's 4 agreements. Your dream and how you see the world is a mixture of your ego, how you were raised, and the collective dream of society. He goes on to explain that we don't choose our own beliefs or even our own dreams. That we learn how to behave in society's dream, and we learned what is acceptable and not acceptable. We learned what is good, bad, right, and wrong. We were conditioned and trained with punishment and reward systems. And we began to act and do things in order to get this reward, and we became our parents' belief systems. This is what he calls domestication. Our domestication is so strong that this is when we become our own domesticator, and we start to judge ourselves and punish ourselves for the same mistakes over and over and over again. We try to be good enough for the people around us, and we are self-abusive. The limit of your self-abuse is exactly the limit you will tolerate from someone else. These, he says, are the agreements that we have agreed to unconsciously. And in order to free ourselves from those agreements, you need to adopt agreements based on love, not fear. If you want to have a joyful and fulfilling life, he says you can adopt these agreements. Fear agreements drain your energy. Love agreements conserve energy and even give you energy. After he explains the domestication of humans, he gets into the agreements based on love.
The first agreement: be impeccable with your word. In the beginning, there was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word is God.
Our word is powerful. Through your word, you have creative power. Now, many of us are into manifestation and have done research about thoughts and how strong thoughts are. If you've read Eckhart Tolle, we understand that thoughts are so powerful. Thoughts are a seed. And so the word is so powerful. You need to spread word based on love, not on fear. So what does that mean? Think of throughout history how people have used the word to create seeds and activate other people's fear, like Hitler, for example. The word can put us under spells. This happens when we share negative opinions of others, when we put people down, when we gossip, and the way that we talk to ourselves. He gives a couple examples of people getting put under spells, but this happened to me once in high school when a girl said that I was stiff on stage, and that was her word, and I took that word and I embodied it basically. I said, oh, that's true. So her words affected my life for the next 15 years or something like that. I don't even know who this person was. All I know is it was a girl. So words can affect, like a mother. Think of a mother on a child, how much a child is influenced just by the words that we say. And he says if you fall under the spell of somebody else's word, the only way to break it is to adopt a new agreement. And I think that's why affirmations are so popular, because we have probably been bombarded with things throughout our life that we embodied and we take on as part of our belief system. You're not a good singer, Malia. You're so stiff on stage. I used to think I wasn't smart. Those things become a part of our belief system, and I think that's why people are so into affirmations, because they do work. One of the worst ways to use the word is with gossiping. He says that we give our opinions of other people because we want them to feel as bad as we do. He just says that's the only purpose for gossiping. And the gossiping is like implanting a computer virus into somebody. But we have to realize that our opinion is nothing but our own point of views, and that person has a different point of view. Our opinion is not reality. Your opinion comes from your own beliefs, your own ego, and your own dream. So he says that you will only receive the negative word that somebody is putting on to you if your mind is fertile for that seed. And the way to not accept other people's bad opinions and negative beliefs onto you is to adopt this first agreement of being impeccable with your word. He says that you can transcend hell by being impeccable with your word, and to use the word first for love and for yourself. The second agreement is don't take anything personally. Now, this agreement comes from our society's construct that everything is about me, 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 me. If you hear an opinion from someone else about you, it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with the other person. Now that is kind of hard for me to wrap my head around. It is about their word and the agreements that they have adopted and their personal belief system. He says that if you take it personally, then that becomes yours. It becomes part of your belief system. And if somebody is saying something about you that hurts you, it is because you have wounds surrounding that issue, which you need to figure out. And that's crazy. You really got to be strong to do that. To realize that somebody's saying something to you and it has nothing to do with you. It's them. He even says to adopt this agreement even if what they are saying is positive. Oh wow, you're so wonderful, you're so beautiful. I know that I'm beautiful, I'm wonderful. I don't need you to tell me that. If you adopt this agreement, you will only need to trust yourself and take radical responsibility for your life. and you will hardly be hurt by the careless actions of others, which I think is so beautiful. The third agreement is don't make assumptions. We assume that everyone sees the world the way that we do. Think the way that we think, judge the way that we judge, abuse the way that we abuse. And we have a tendency to make assumptions about other people. And then we take it personally, and that's the domino effect. And then it causes us not to be impeccable with our word. We literally dream things up in our imaginations. With our family or close partners, how many times have you said, oh, you should have known. Like, why did you do this? Didn't you know that I wanted this? And that is making assumptions. And he says that we make assumptions because we don't have the courage to ask questions. There's this anxious need to know in our society. We don't have the courage to be the true person that we want to be because we assume that other people will reject us because we have actually rejected ourselves. That's crazy. In order to not make assumptions, we just need to keep asking questions and making sure everything is crystal clear. And I learned this very young from a good friend of mine who always asked questions, and people would always say like, why do you ask so many questions, and like do you really like not get it? But no, we need to become more and more clear. The clearer we are, the more beauty we can create, honestly. Yes, the clearer and more precise we are with understanding each other. If I can understand you a little better by asking questions, then I'm going to do it. The fourth agreement, and this is the best one, it is always do your best. I just love that so much because it encompasses the agreements and just everything in your life. If you truly want your dreams, if you truly want peace, if you truly want to live in love, always do your best. Always do your best to not make assumptions. Always do your best to not take things personally. Always do your best to be impeccable with your word. And he says, know that your best will change every day. You wake up sick, you wake up angry, and you do your best for that day, and you keep trying over and over. And that is what life is. That is what each new day brings, a chance to do your best. If you do less than your best, then you subject yourself to judgments. You judge yourself, you guilt yourself, and then you punish yourself. He says to practice, look honestly at the results, and keep practicing, increasing your awareness. Express what you are and take action on your life. And just do your best over and over and over again. He says that everything around us is set up so that we can break these agreements, but always do your best and keep a strong will to keep these agreements. If you break an agreement, begin again tomorrow and then the next day. So those are the 4 agreements. I wanted to share this book because these are simple things that you can notice in your life every day. The first thing in changing is noticing. That's the first piece of change. So I've just been noticing every single day when I'm not keeping these agreements, and then I can choose again. I can forgive and choose again. Gabrielle Bernstein says, I forgive this thought and I choose again. So every day it's very tedious, but if you want to change your life and just be more happy and peaceful, then you can read this book and keep these agreements. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I make a video every week. Be sure to subscribe and tune in, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace. Wow, what is so cool is that there's like paint on this book. It looks like, yeah, there's like paint, and I have already, I'm starting to look for little miracles like this in my life again. I already painted those rocks that I have as B-roll for this video. And I don't know, I love looking for little signs like that, little miracles. Look out for little miracles. They're all around